everybody, what's up? Recently I've done a few videos about Tim Tebow. I'm really skeptical about how good of an NFL quarterback he's going to be. I don't like his long delivery. I think the Broncos really reached on him, drafting him in the first round after trading 3 picks to get him. And needless to say, some people have been voicing their displeasure loudly with my views. I've been getting some negative comments on YouTube. Some of it's mixed in with some really bad logic. But it's all entertaining, so I thought, why not do a video about it? It should be fun. So let's start it off with Badonkadonk 2007. Badonkadonk 2007 says, "Shut your mouth, Tebow's the best." Very eloquent, Badonkadonk. Let's go to MBD 1968. "You keep talking about not being emotional, but you keep screaming and acting like an idiot. You're a blanking tool. Take your own advice and calm down." I think those comments have less to do with me ranting and more to do with me ranting about Tim Tebow. I think that's what's going on there. And yeah, it's a good point. Sometimes I get a little bit too amped up, but there's probably a better way to express that than that. Let's go to MBD 6903. "Philip Rivers is a great QB who was hated on coming out of NC State over his throwing motion. Now, he has one of the quickest releases in the league. Instead of ranting like an idiot, next time come in with some facts." He goes on to say, "You're just a hater, dude. You have yet to give a reason why Tebow won't be a successful NFL quarterback. Sure, you have mentioned his long release, but not every quarterback is perfect." Alright, he does make a good point about Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers has an unconventional throwing motion. It's almost sidearm, it's a 3/4 delivery. It's not over the top, it's not a textbook throwing motion. But don't confuse an unconventional throwing motion with a slow throwing motion. Tebow has a slow motion that he's trying to correct. It's been a long, looping, slow delivery. That's not going to work in the NFL. His passes are going to get intercepted all day long if he's not able to correct that. So don't confuse unconventional with slow. You can get away with an unconventional quick delivery. You can't get away with a slow one. So there's a difference right there. We go to my guy, Butterball1234ABCD. Now, I said it was crazy that the Broncos gave up 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round picks to move up to take Tim Tebow. He says, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, so what? Just scrubs after the top 50. Scrubs after the top 50? Are you serious? You know how many good players are in the NFL who've been drafted later than that? You're talking about guys like Tom Brady, Brandon Marshall, Brian Dawkins, Ray Rice, Steve Smith. The list goes on and on. NFL Hall of Famers like Joe Montana, Mel Blount, Jackie Slater, even more than that. That's painfully wrong, but Butterball doesn't stop there. He says, "Let me dawn you in on something, son. College and the NFL aren't that different. It's blanking football." College and the NFL are much different. Why do you think Tim Tebow, maybe the best college football player in the history of the game, is retooling his entire throwing motion? Because it's a different level. The windows are tighter, the speed is faster, the schemes are more complex. It's much different. But he doesn't stop there. We have one more gem from Butterball. He says, "Tebow can play any blanking position in the NFL. You people need to do your research. The boy is 1 in a million. Should have been drafted #1. Butterball, my man. You're killing me. But I do love how he says, "You people need to do your research," as if it's common knowledge that respectable NFL fans or observers can see that Tebow clearly could play nose tackle or cornerback or whatever. Okay, enough of Butterball, but I like the comments. Pretty entertaining right there, even though it doesn't make any sense. We finish with Drums for Christ 06. He says, "Who are you? Nothing. That's why you're making these videos. Give them a chance, moron." I find it ironic that a guy that goes by Drums for Christ would have something like that to say. And to me, that's the irony of this whole thing. You got people saying some crazy stuff, and they're defending Tim Tebow, a guy who's religious, really respectful, carries himself very professionally. Even Tebow would have something to say like, "You guys need to be a little bit more respectful than that." And something else that all of this shows me is imagine how great it would be for the NFL if Tim Tebow is actually good. Tim Tebow is one of the most polarizing players in the league right now, and he's yet to step on the field. Can you imagine if this guy is good? And what it would mean for the NFL, he'd be a walking cash register. You're talking about ratings, ticket sales, attendance, jersey sales. Oh my gosh, the NFL's got to be like, come on, Tebow. Now, if you're wondering, what the heck did you initially say to get that type of response? It's a good question. Here's a link to the video I did on Friday where most of these comments appear. You can watch the video and judge for yourself if these people have a point or if they're closer to being lunatics. You can see for yourself. As always, you can email me at brian_no5@yahoo.com. You can comment below on YouTube or Facebook. And check out my website, nobrainer.com. And have a good day while you're at it, huh? I'm Brian No, and that's a no-brainer.